Arizona State Sun Devils defensive lineman BJ Green joins me today to talk everything Arizona State Sun Devils football heading into 2023. Let's go ahead and get started on this edition of the Locked On Sun Devils podcast.
You are Locked On Sun Devils, your daily podcast on the Arizona State Sun Devils, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Sun Devils podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. My name is Richie Bradshaw, and I will be your guide for everything Arizona State Sun Devils football. Joining me today is Sun Devils defensive lineman BJ Green. BJ, thank you so much for joining us. How you doing today, my friend?
Very happy to be here. Very happy to be here.
All right, let's go ahead and just hop right into the meat and potatoes of this bad boy. So first, I want to ask kind of your thoughts on 2022. It obviously wasn't the season that we all wanted it to go. There was a lot of turmoil on the team. There were some bad injuries. There was a coaching change in the middle of the season. What were kind of your overall thoughts on the way that 2022 went for the Sun Devils?
Obviously it wasn't what we wanted. It was a lot of us, having to go through a coaching change and a lot of injuries, but it required a lot of guys to step. Guys had a lot of good opportunities, and some guys stood up to the plate to this season, and it really tested how bad we wanted it and how bad, I mean, that was just an example of what we don't want to happen this year. We want to change things and how we want to go about operating ourselves as a team this year, and, the guys that stepped up because of those injuries now know what it's like to step onto the plate, because it's next man up every year, those bigger roles, and I think that's a lot. That's a great thing coming into this season. So
yeah, like I mentioned, there was a coaching change in the middle of the season after week 3, and Herm Edwards was unfortunately relieved of his duties as the head coach. Sean Aguano took over, and multiple players the very next week against Utah were saying how different everything was. They were saying that practices felt a lot better. Sean Aguano was playing music throughout. What are your thoughts on Sean Aguano and the way that he was able to take over and move forward with the team?
I think Coach Aguano did an exceptional job during one of his hardest times. That's the first thing he did. He said when he got into the meeting, when he told Coach Herm was leaving, he said, we're going to have to, this is going to be a time when we're going to have to come together more than ever. We did everything as a unit. He tried to bring a sense of positivity, and it was the keys to the car, in those ways, trying to, get work and not really dwell on the bad thing. Like, obviously nobody wants, but, you gotta keep pushing forward in the middle of the season. He got everybody's eye. Did a great job on doing that. So,
looking at the way that the team went this year, 3-9, obviously not the way we wanted it. There were definitely some struggles offensively and defensively. There were definitely some bright spots, though. For the second straight year for yourself, you were able to, in this season, tie for the league, or not the league, the team lead in sacks with 2.5. As a freshman, you had 5, which also led the team. How do you feel about your performance that you were able to put on in 2022?
Those weren't good to my standards. I always hold myself to a higher standard. Tying the team, not, being able to be first in years that I've been in college, that's a good thing to have and go into in my third year, because now I know what I want. And some things don't work. Some things are more effective that you keep them on and you keep them in your arsenal, and other things you got to leave them behind in the past seasons. But, coming into this year, I think this is a statement. This is the time for me to step up as a leader, and as a player, and just, Sun Devil defense that I know we can be, and I know that we're going to be in the 2023 season, and to get that juiced up. So,
yeah, and I'm excited to ask you about Brian Ward here in just a second and the new defensive look. You mentioned that you're ready to step up. Do you feel as though in your third year, you are now one of the leaders in the locker room? I mean, when you got here, it was like Kyle Soley and Merlin Robertson, excuse me. And now you're one of the most veteran guys in the locker room. What's that kind of feeling like for you?
You know, when you've played both years that you've been in college, kind of been molded into, like Kyle and, being around those guys, the past the keys to the car almost in a way. You, you still got some guidance, Mike Matu's coming back guidance, but, you got to step into those shoes when it's time. And I feel like this is the time for me, for me to walk around the locker room and there's freshmen calling me big bro. Like, it felt like little bro coming in calling everybody else big bro when Shannon Foreman was here. So, it's also a challenge to myself because, you got to step up to the plate every day and accept the right example, bring the juice, even in the weight room. I got to bring that energy and make plays. Like, I know I can. That's what I got to do now. So.
BetOnline.net is your number one source for betting info, stats, news, and analysis. Get the latest odds and trends for every professional and amateur league out there, from pro football to college basketball and more. We've got it all on BetOnline.net. If you love sports podcasts, you can find those at BetOnline as well. We're always the fastest and easiest way to get your betting information. So head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action at BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, back into our conversation now. I want to ask you a little bit about the future here. So out goes Herm Edwards, in comes Kenny Dillingham. What are your initial thoughts? Obviously, as a defensive player, it's not the same as hiring a defensive minded head coach, but what do you think about Kenny Dillingham coming in as the new head coach of Arizona State?
Um, Coach Dillingham, he's a very well-rounded human being. He's a very young coach, which means he has a better understanding of him being an offensive-minded coach almost benefits him in a way and how he wants his defense to be taught. He had one of the top offenses last year, so he knows what would annoy other molded us into as a defense, and that's what he wants to mold us into as a defense, a big disruptive field and can strap down in the secondary, and that's just what he's wanted us to do. But he's not just a offensive-minded coach. He's a very well-rounded. Helps see what he does with this role. So.
You also have a brand new defensive coordinator as well, with Brian Ward coming from Washington State, a team that had one of the top defenses in the Pac-12 this year. Have you had a chance to talk to Coach Ward, and what are your overall thoughts on him so far?
Coach Ward, when the staff change happened, he was one of the most genuine people. And getting to talk ball with him, I like what he has in store for the scheme and the player, and just seeing how that scheme fits me. And I like the way it's going to be a lot of disruption and a lot of attack, and that's what I like about it. It's a very nasty defense that he's going to run, and it's a show for Sun Devil fans in the fall. So.
There's also a lot of changes that are coming to the defense in terms of personnel as well. The defensive line, particularly, is going to be losing a lot of players, both to the transfer portal, but also because of eligibility that's running out. Guys like Nesta Jade Silvera and TJ Pesifea and Trevez Moore are no longer with the team. Other guys have entered the portal as well, but there's some guys that are coming in that are looking for starting roles on this defensive line. Guys like Tristan Monday or Samuel Benjamin or Deshaun Mallory. What's the new look feel like? Have you gotten a chance to talk to your fellow defensive linemen and kind of establish some chemistry with them at all yet?
I've talked to him and established some chemistry. I've talked to Tristan and those guys. They're pretty, Sam Benjamin. We compete every day in the weight room. He's a pretty everybody that's coming to come in as a defense. As a defensive line, we started and we're gonna finish it. To the quarterback, that's the type of attitude that we have right now. Right now, we're in the weight room, racing and everything. So that's a good thing to build chemistry right now. But feel like we still have a lot of good guys that are ready to step up to the plate. That's still here. You know, we got Nesta, Jay Silveria, and TJ Pesafea leaving, but we also got, you know, Jaleel Harvey stands. So, you know, we still got some dogs in the interior of this line, you know, along with Pot. And that can only bring better, you know, depth.
Yeah, it's like that saying goes where like iron sharpens iron, something along those lines where the competition should be able to bring the best out of all of you guys. Do you feel as though you definitely are in line for 100% starting role this year, or do you still see like a big competition where nothing's guaranteed for any of the guys, not just you, but maybe Michael Matus, one of the veteran guys as well? Do you think that anyone is really guaranteed anything right now?
Nobody's guaranteed anything in the starting. When you start me, I have full confidence in my ability and what I can do. You know, I'm a very disruptive person. I can play inside, but you know, you always got to go out there and compete every day, all day, and every day to earn that role. And that I was starting a while, you still got to go out there and earn it every day because you know that you got to have. You know, you got to go out there and go take it, or you're gonna get complacent. You know, you got every day. Like you said, you have new guys coming in through the portal, and you know you got to just go.
And how do you feel about all the new competition? If you could just put it in one word, how would you say you feel about it?
I'm excited now about shoot. I bet on myself since I got here. You know,
All right, sounds good. If you guys are looking for a delicious treat and don't want the fat and calories, then you got to try Built Bar. We just got through the holidays, and I know my goal is to eat a little healthier this year. And if you like me and you want to eat healthier but don't want to compromise on taste, then I've got just the thing for you. You got to try Built. With Built, healthy is actually tasty. Seriously, they're so delicious, you won't think they're good for you. Perfect for your New Year's resolution. What makes Built so good? Well, for starters, they're covered in 100% real chocolate, and they come in unbelievably great flavors like churro, peanut butter brownie, and coconut almond. I'm not sure how Built does it, but these bars taste like candy bars while maintaining amazing macros. And what's even better is they're healthy. Only 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, and a whopping 17 grams of protein. And now you don't need to wait to get a box. For years, we've been talking about ordering your Built bars at built.com. Now you can go to your local Walmart or Sam's Club. That's right. Head to your nearest Walmart today, go to the pharmacy section and grab yourself a box of Built Bars. You can pick up a 4-bar box of cookies and cream, double chocolate, or coconut puffs. Or if you're close to a Sam's Club, run in and grab a 13-bar box with our hit flavors, brownie batter, and churro. You can thank me later. Go and get yourself a Built Bar right now and experience the change in a great tasting protein bar. All right, wrapping this bad boy up with you, BJ Green. Looking at 2023 and beyond, we talked about the new defensive line. We talked about your thoughts on it. You talked about the competition you're looking forward to. What are your expectations, not just for yourself, but for the defensive line as a whole going into this year?
for my expectations for the defensive line as a whole, I know our most disruptive defensive lines in the country. You know, I expect us to be able to work together. You know, I expect us to not only be able to dominate in the run, but also in the pass. And I expect us to have, you know, on the field having fun. And there's really no point in you being out there. And that's what I expect myself to be one of the most dominant players out here and at Arizona State and in the country. Just bring that juice every day. I want people to know where I am on the field at all times. You know, this year, you know, just coming with that dog and that nasty, you know, I'm just going to every day. You know, and I'm just going right now, I'm going to be a quarterback.
What are your goals specifically for yourself for spring ball, which is, it feels like it's far away, but it's probably going to sneak up on us pretty quick. Do you have any goals in mind that you want to set yourself up for just during spring ball?
Set the tone for what I want to do and who I am on this field. You know, I want to be able to set the tone, and that's an Arizona State defense, and just when it comes time for the spring game, be able to give y'all what you're doing in 2023. So.
Do you have any goals for yourself for this season? Any certain statistics you're looking for? Any kind of play? Any awards specifically?
Um, yeah, in my head, yeah, but I don't really, I got them goals on the wall, but you guys are just gonna have to go out there and see that in the fall, So
All right. I can certainly respect that. I like it. Having something up for yourself that you're going to be looking forward to. What should we expect out of BJ Green, the player, in 2023? What can we look forward to?
man, expect a wild man field at all times, a man who is gonna be having fun and making sure y'all are enjoying what I'm gonna give y'all a lot to look forward to in the fall. So get your popcorn, get your tickets. So just wreaking havoc.
That's what I like to hear. What are the goals for the team as a whole? I've talked to some of your teammates. I know that Trenton Bourget is looking forward to getting back to winning games. Giovanni Sanders says he wants to smell some roses and go to a Rose Bowl. What are your goals for the team this year as a whole? What are you guys looking to accomplish in year one with Kenny Dillingham?
My goals as a team, there's a lot of things that were left unsaid as a team. Like there's a lot of things that we left out there, and we're coming for all of it this year. So we're gonna go out there and take it and earn it every day. And the sky's the limit for us, right?
Any final words to Sun Devil fans before we clock out of here?
Now, because it's gonna be real exciting in the fall.
Awesome. BJ, thank you again so much for your time. Really appreciate you hopping on. And thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate you coming on, listening to BJ Green Talk, and getting ready for this upcoming season. Until next time, though, you keep it locked right here on Locked On Sun.